Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. Today I'm back on Forza Motorsport 7 having a look at the March Forzathon challenges for the final week in March. So let's have a look, let's go in and have a look at what we've got. Well, you can see these challenges here, these are the screens from last week. The reason is that whilst playing this, whilst doing this, Forza went totally mad and crashed and lost my recordings. But I've managed to save everything all bar the first challenge. So we've got Stay Crunchy, just having a laugh, which is play any online hopper, which is what I was trying to do at the time, and Mem is starting out and Ms. Tunes Delight. So with the Stay Crunchy, I went in, I attempted to do a multiplayer game and it just lags, it's terrible. This is actually what happens because the servers, as far as I'm aware, are based in the US. And I'm in the UK, the ping on the network connection is really bad, so it lags to hell. And this is a problem. You can see here some things I'm talking about.
Years later.
So I've basically given up on that. So I've gone back to the Forzathon screen after reloading the game and losing my recordings, and it has given me credit for this. I've got 60,000 credits. Next we've got starting out. Complete a race at Mugello International Club Circuit in an Alfa Romeo manufactured car. Here we are at Mugello, the club circuit, and I've got an Alfa, but not any Alfa. This is a classic, the 1933 Alfa 8C, in a very fetching red, matching my drive avatar, which is actually a skin from Halo, I think. I don't play Halo, but I think this one's from Halo, just looks cool. And I'm in the Alfa, which is absolutely brilliant. This is a car of serious pedigree. It's 1933, this version, and these cars have been known to hold many wins around the Le Mans 24-hour circuit, around 24 hours of Spa, so a big, good endurance car. And to say they're rare is an understatement. There was only a few hundred made originally, and I think the last one that went up for auction sold for about $14 million, which is paid, what, £11 million, which is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And of course around Mugello, so it's known for the F1 and GT racing, but got a classic endurance car going around with today. So yeah, it's quite nice colour, and there's really not many of these left around. So as I come up to the finish line, I can have a look what sort of time I'm making. 1 minute 12 round the track. Fantastic. Let's have a look. Let's see what my opponent came in at. CJ997 in a Bugatti T35C. Came in at 1 minute 16, so that's not bad going. So pop-up time. You've made progress in starting out. So into the Forzathon screen and have a look what's next. Win a race at Mazda Laguna Seca in a Dodge manufactured car. This is working towards the paintball driver gear. So going back to the old school, because we were talking about starting out, so I thought I'll have a look at the oldest cars for this manufacturer. I had the oldest Alfa I could get, and this is the oldest Dodge I can get. It's the Dodge Coronet. This version is from the 70s, from the mid-70s, and it's awfully beige. It really is. I don't know if it's supposed to be silver or what, but it just looks awfully beige in this light. But this is one of those cars which has not really sort of captured the imagination of pretty much anyone outside of America, but it's reasonably not bad. I mean, this car's new, it hasn't been tuned or modded or anything. I literally bought this for the purposes of doing this challenge. And they're not the slowest things in the world. These, when they were made, came with a minimum of a 3.3 litre engine. So, you know, it doesn't look like it, but this is actually quite powerful. And ultimately, this car was replaced by the Challenger Sport, which is probably more of a well-known car. But round Laguna Seca in California, which is normally known for IMSA racing, for its endurance GT, and of course it's sponsored by Mazda, which is the Japanese car company. But it's not a bad track. It's quite a few sand areas which you can go out on and basically lose a bit of time. And I'm not overly driving brilliantly on this because it was one of those late at night sort of jobs, and this car isn't the best at handling, even though it's got quite a powerful engine. It's not really the best at handling, but it's doing a good enough job for what it needs to do. I'm quite a distance ahead of my opponent, again CJ997 VIP player, which is quite cool. But last corner coming up, round it goes. Building up speed, let's floor it for a finish line, shall we? Let's get a foot down and see what you can do. Can we hit 100? Can we hit 100? Yes. Cross the line about 101 mile an hour. 2 minutes, 2 seconds to do the lap. So, like I said, it's not the quickest car in the game, but it's certainly not the slowest. Up against a Renault Clio, of all things, that came in about 8 seconds behind. Pop-up time, I've made progress in starting out. And being a two-step, I've completed starting out. Into the Forzathon screen, and let's get my reward. Here we go, the paintball driver gear. One part bringing colour to nature, another part hunting your fellow man. Super rare skin. I don't think I've got this one, but I have now, obviously. Next up, Tuner's Delight. Complete a race at Road America in an A-Class Hot Hatch Icons Division car. And that'll be for the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, which is quite a legendary car in a way. Even though I don't think it's got legendary status, it's quite a well-known car. And talking of cars, I've got this BMW, I've got the 323 Ti, but it's actually a C-Class, so I need to make it an A-Class. If I make it an A-Class, it will break the requirements of the Hot Hatch Icons division. But I thought, you know what? I can't have an A-Class in that division, so I'm just going to put an A-Class tune on it and just let it run, and let's see if it actually gives me my credit for this. And up against an Aston Martin Vantage, by the look of it. Again, CJ997. Not doing too badly behind me. But this is a BMW. You can see it's got a bit of a tune on it. It's got the wing on the back and everything. And it's actually E36, which is actually a nice generation of BMWs. Arguably the best generations of BMWs were the E36 and the E46s on the 3 Series. And this is the E36, which is lovely. It's like a little hot hatch. It's a bit of a stubby 3 Series in a way. 2.5 litres, engine is standard, 168 brake horsepower. So not a bad car in itself. Road America's quite a good little track. It's got some interesting bends, some nice straights. Generally known for IndyCar and IMSA racing. And this is one of the original tracks in Forza. I think this is in Forza Motorsport 1 many, many years ago, back on the 360. And yes, it's one of the originals. And 1 minute 16 across the line in the BMW. Let's see what this Aston's coming at behind me. It's coming at 1 minute 21, so again, 5 seconds behind, which is actually quite interesting. So, pop-up time. You've made progress in Tuner's Delight. Fantastic. Have a look at Forzathon. What's next? Complete a race where you go at least 150 miles an hour at Brands Hatch. Right, let's get into it. So I'm at Brands Hatch, which is the famous British racing circuit. It's mainly known for its F1 and it's a classic staple of British motorsport. And I'm driving the Formula Drift Ford Mustang. I've had a little play with this last week around Long Beach and couldn't really test it out too much because of the corners and everything. The straights weren't great, so I thought, let's try it around here. It's definitely capable of hitting 150 miles an hour. So let's sort of have a little play. Let's do a couple of drifts. You must not drift around. Let's do a couple of drifts. Let's sort of see how it handles. And generally, not pulling it off too well at the moment, but admittedly I was more concerned about just sort of getting ahead. So I can actually get my foot down and do stuff like this, 160 mile an hour. So come up to a corner, a little drift round, not handling too badly. A small, tiny little drift, but kept on the track. So that's definitely a win in this one. And the Mustang, yeah, this is the drift tune version of the 15 Mustang, which is already a brilliant car for drifting. I've used it a couple of times on the Spa when I've had drifting challenges. And it is really good. And this is actually crazy. You can feel it when you put your foot down. It does start to pull and slide a little bit, so it's definitely set up that way. But it is a good car, and it's making easy work. A minute and a half so far as I'm coming up towards the end. Nice drift on the corner there. So a bit of acceleration now. Definitely don't want to come in second on this one. But because I've been messing around with drifting, I haven't captured a massive lead. But 1 minute 45 around the track, I can't really say anything too bad about that in a way. Let's have a look. Let's see what I'm up against. I was up against a BMW M6 GTL-M, which is a gorgeous car. And again, about 1 second behind me. About 1.5 seconds behind me. So not a convincing win, but a win in itself, which is brilliant. Pop-ups. You've made progress in Tuner's Delight. Let's have a look. Let's see what's next. Complete 2 experimental drag races. Okay, brilliant. I don't know if I've done any experimental drag on YouTube before. I've done normal drag races, but I don't think I've done the experimental drag. And the experimental drag is where you do a drag race, obviously, but you have the rules of drag racing. You have your free revs, you have your drag tree for the lights, and you can definitely get disqualified if you jump ahead before the light turns green. So certainly reaction time is a big thing on this, and something which you need to get the launch just right in order to get it done. So I've decided for the first one to go for the fastest car I've actually got, which is the Koenigsegg 1-1, which is just a loony hypercar, having a massive acceleration there. Let's have a look through the line. 9 seconds. Can't say a lot about that, can I? 9 seconds. Came in about 3 seconds ahead of a Porsche RS. 173 speed trap time, which is brilliant. Reaction time 0.25 a second, which is actually really good. So yeah, that's actually really good. About 9 seconds, so I can't really fault that. But because this is do 2 races, I've gone for the fastest car I've got, and I'm going for the slowest, the Citroen 2CV. That's what I've got, the Citroen 2CV, possibly the slowest in the game, and I'm doing a drag race. And I'm doing a drag race with it, so let's have a look, see how it goes. Pushing 60. This is actually quite painful to watch, but I'm winning. Actually winning. Coming up to a marker. And excellent cross the line, 18.2 seconds. Against the Jaguar Mark II 3.8. Top speed 76. Reaction time 0.283, so on par with other things. The other one, so that's actually it. That's actually brilliant. I've actually did a drag race in the fastest car I've got on the game and the slowest car I've got on the game. And you can't say you do that every day, can you? So that'll give me the pop-ups. I've got You've Made Progress in Tuner's Delight. And I've completed Tuner's Delight in my jolly little Citroen. So what I'll do now is quit out of this because it's a different subset of the races and the other stuff and go into a Forzathon. This gets me the 2010 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, which is brilliant. Common car, plus 45 on a collector's score. And this is a car you see in all the movies and all the TV shows, and you see the police, racing to a scene or something, and they'll jump out of the cars. This is what they're driving. But yeah, so let's have a look at next week's. We got Bigger Numbers, Challenge Yourself, that's for 90,000 credits. Speed Freak, Get Your Fix, that's for the Tanner Faust driver gear. And Track Icons, Reliving History, that's for the 1992 Honda NSX-R. So I look forward to doing them next week, and that looks pretty cool. So that's that for today, guys. So I couldn't get much in the way of multiplayer running. This has been a pain in the backside, but again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the videos. If you do like what I'm doing, hit that like, hit subscribe, and just leave me a comment if there's anything you want me to see me doing. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy and happy driving.